As more and more time passes, more and more Americans are waking up to the unfair treatment of President Donald Trump. Biden is angry and yelling every day at White House staffers because of his poor polling data. Biden gets a big win in court, which will force Texas to accept even more illegal immigrants. And Letitia James of New York shows zero mercy towards Donald Trump as she now openly seeks to steal his most prized assets. Lastly, Judge McAfee down in Georgia didn't have the courage to remove District Attorney Fannie Willis, but he just made it possible for another judge to do it for him. Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps me out. So thank you so much. I'm on a new system here. Can you just let me know if you're able to hear me? Just write yes or give a thumbs up. All right, I want to thank Body Boost for sponsoring this video. Coach Brian has an incredible offer to help you lose 20 pounds in 6 weeks, and I'll tell you about it later in this video. Yesterday, we celebrated how the Supreme Court upheld the new Texas law, giving law enforcement authority to arrest, detain, and deport illegal immigrants. However, this morning, the Fifth Circuit Court ruled that actually, no, they can't. In fact, they told Governor Greg Abbott to comply with the federal law and the wishes of the White House and allow as many illegal immigrants into the country as arrive at our southern border. The Texas border crisis is about to get much worse. So we went from good news to horrible news in less than 24 hours. Now, Biden is absolutely giddy about this. He wants to flood the United States with illegal immigrants, and the court systems are backing him up on fulfilling these wishes. While Trump was recently given a big win in the Supreme Court, not everyone has been so lucky. Peter Navarro, a Trump former trade advisor, filed a motion to avoid jail. Now, Navarro originally got into hot water when he refused to comply with a subpoena to testify before the January 6th committee. He said that he would need permission under executive authority to discuss what he talked about in private with Donald Trump. Donald Trump would not give him this permission. And so he held to his guns and upheld his office and his oath and refused to testify. So what did they do? They're now having him thrown in jail for 4 months. And nothing came out of this committee. They didn't get Trump. They didn't sway the American public. The only thing that happened was that Peter Navarro now has to go to jail for 4 months. He was on my show just last week. It's very, very sad. All right, now, contrary to previous reports, former President Donald Trump will be required to post the full bond in New York before his appeal can move forward in the judicial system. Trump's bond requirement currently sits at $464 million, which his lawyers claim he's unable to put up that kind of money, and he's unable to get a loan for that kind of money. Now, Trump's legal team stated, while we believe the Trump organization is in a strong liquidity position, it does not have $1 billion in cash or cash equivalents. As a result, for a company such as the Trump organization, which has most of its assets invested in real estate, obtaining a bond for $464 million is practically impossible. Now, they knew it would be practically impossible. This is all part of the plan to get Donald Trump. Now, despite Trump's failure to secure a loan, New York Attorney General Letitia James asked the appeal court to deny Trump's request to pause New York's ability to seize his assets until the trial is over. So Letitia James is now publicly saying that she is going to seize all of Donald Trump's assets, take over his businesses, possibly shut them down. And she also said that she does not believe that Donald Trump has explored every option to post bond and failed to highlight how he has exhausted all of these avenues. Now, in Trump's defense, insurance broker Gary Gaetti wrote a sworn statement which read, "A bond of this size is rarely, if ever, seen." Now, let me know, do you guys think that Letitia James is evil? I mean, he obviously has the money and the assets, but it's tied up in real estate. That real estate creates jobs in New York. It creates business. It boosts the economy, and yet she is just out to get him. And so I guess she's just keeping her political promises of get me into office and I will get Donald Trump. Now, some legal scholars have weighed in today on what Letitia James might be saying and doing. She might be saying, if you can't get a $450 million bond from one company, then spread it out over many companies and get me that money. Others believe she knows she has Trump cornered, and in order to force him to sell his coveted properties on the New York real estate market for pennies on the dollar, she's given him an impossible hurdle to clear. So this is all part of a chess game where she has Donald Trump cornered, and they changed the law right before his court case so that he would have to put up 100% of the money. They knew that he didn't have this money, and this whole thing is to humiliate him, to shame him, and to steal all of his assets. Or by the time he wins his court case and gets it back, he won't be able to get his properties back. So this is all very, very strategic and coordinated. Now, President Trump reacted to these outlandish requirements by Letitia James by stating, "I would be forced to mortgage or sell great assets, perhaps at fire sale prices, and if and when I win the appeal, they would be gone. Does that make sense?" Now, to be fair, any reasonable person would agree with Donald Trump. In fact, many have. You have Kevin O'Leary. You even have Trump-hating Mark Cuban of the Dallas Mavericks coming forward saying that this is ridiculous. Just because somebody has a B billion in front of their name doesn't mean that they're just sitting on massive amounts of cash. Most billionaires are rich because they own stock in a company they started, or they own real estate that has gone up in value. And so Mark Cuban is defending Donald Trump, saying, this is exactly what is happening. So pretty bad when your enemy has to defend you to your other enemy. Now, remember, not one single bank complained about Donald Trump's loans. Not one bank ever missed a payment or missed interest. Every one of those was paid back. Trump's lawyers said that this is a brazen abuse of power carried out by AG Letitia James. Okay, now I have a couple of huge updates, but first, 35 seconds from today's video sponsor. Do you want to lose 20 pounds in the next 6 weeks? Do you want to keep your New Year's resolution of losing weight, being healthier, and feeling better? Do you want to sleep better, feel better, and think better? Then you need a coach to show you how to lose 20 pounds in 6 weeks. I'm personally down 15 pounds. I consider this system to be easy and intuitive, and you can lose 20 pounds in 6 weeks, and you will feel much, much better. I'm going to leave a link down below, but make sure to ask for the Stephen Gardner special. Call Brian, get an appointment today, and ask about that. You'll be excited, and I can't wait to see your before and after pictures. Now, following the Letitia James news, both Hillary Clinton and President Joe Biden mocked and taunted Donald Trump online. On Twitter, Hillary Clinton stated, multiple indictments and $500 million in civil liability later, pretty much the only person who can say they were better off 4 years ago is Donald Trump. Must be nice to be Hillary Clinton and have the protection of the mainstream media and the deep state. On the other hand, Joe Biden made fun of Trump while referencing his failed student debt relief program. He stated, "Our big plan to cancel student debt doesn't apply to everyone. Just yesterday, a defeated looking man came to me and said, 'I'm being crushed by debt. I'm completely wiped out.' I said, 'Sorry, Donald, I can't help you.' What Biden should have said is that he can't help anyone. He promised to relieve all of these people's debt, and then the Supreme Court shut him down. Then he broke the law and forgave a bunch of people anyway, but not all of them. And now many, especially younger voters, are saying, wait a minute, you tried to buy my vote and you lied to me, and now I didn't even get any relief. So Biden is losing big time among the younger voters. No wonder he screams at everybody at the White House. All right, now, Trump lawyers down in Georgia say Judge Scott McAfee just handed Donald Trump a big win. The judge wrote in his opinion draft that District Attorney Fani Willis could still be removed, and her position on this case could be appealed separately to have her removed by a different judge before the main trial against Donald Trump begins. So what I'm hearing is that he didn't have the courage to remove Fani Willis himself. So he opened the pathway for Donald Trump and his legal team to use a different judge to get her out of the court case. Now, of course, many left-leaning news outlets are saying Judge Scott McAfee opened the pathway for Donald Trump, and this is inexcusable. But I think not removing Fani Willis is inexcusable, but that's just me. But I want to hear from you. If you think that she should stay, I want you to write stay. And if you think that she should go or be removed, I want you to write go. So either write stay or go. And I definitely want to hear from you. But for me personally, I mean, come on, you guys, secret meetings, paying her lover double, lying. She perjured herself on the stand. I mean, this is crazy. Okay, go, 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 go. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy. But the fact that he opened this pathway has leftists going absolutely bonkers. I love seeing that. And it was the right move. Legally, it was the right move. I just wish he had had the courage to do it himself, but at least he's going to open the door for a different judge to make that happen. All right, now listen to this. Representative Adam Schiff said two contradictory statements today. He said Donald Trump is moving slow to avoid trial before the election. He then blamed the Department of Justice for going too slow when it came to indicting Trump. So which is it, Adam Schiff? The truth is, it was Biden's Department of Justice that has moved too slow. They've brought too many cases, and they've tried to line them all up at the same time, use similar witnesses. I mean, if they had just brought one case against him, they might have been able to get him. And as bad as it looks, I'll bet you the majority of these cases end up getting pushed to beyond the election this coming November. But only time will tell, and I'll continue to keep you guys updated on what actually happens. All right, now today was a toss-up in Congress with the Hunter Biden hearing. On the one hand, Republicans failed to produce enough evidence to impeach Joe Biden. On the other hand, two of Hunter Biden's business partners testified under oath that Joe Biden is the big guy and that he was strategically used to close foreign money deals. The two witnesses are Tony Bobulinski and Jason Galanis, who is serving jail time right now. Now, both testified under oath that Vice President Joe Biden at that time was using his name and influence to bring in foreign dollars on behalf of his son, Hunter Biden. So they are testifying that Joe Biden committed crimes. They are testifying that Joe Biden lied to his voters and to the American people. Will anything come of this? I don't know. I want to say yes, but I also want to be a truth teller. I think most Republicans are weak, and nothing is going to happen. But you and I will know the truth that Joe Biden used his position of authority to enrich his family and then lied about it. Okay, it's now official. The Federal Reserve Bank did not cut rates in the month of March as predicted. In a statement released today, the Federal Reserve claimed that it needs greater confidence that inflation is moving towards a 2% target before cutting rates. This is horrible news for Biden's reelection campaign, although many conspiracy theorists are saying that they're actually just holding off until we get closer to the election. I don't know what's really going on. Personally, from the bills that I have to pay, the cost of food and gas, I just think inflation is much worse than they're telling us. I think they're lying to us, or at least that's what my wallet is telling me. It's bad out there. Have you guys noticed the price of gas is up almost another dollar? But everybody's so exhausted by it that we don't even talk about it anymore. They just continue to raise prices on just about everything. All right, now in the midst of all the economic situation, Biden just released a federal environment regulation which aims to boost the popularity of electric vehicles. Under the plan, 56% of all new car sales in 2032 must be electric or hybrid. So basically, Biden, in order to be known as the green energy president, is forcing electric vehicles down our throats. Despite car manufacturers making it painfully clear that the demand for electric vehicles is still very low, President Biden is trying to force the market to comply with his wishes. Now, it's crazy how Biden acts like he's pro-labor, but then he does something like this. Electric vehicles require less manpower, which means there will be layoffs if this is indeed forced on the American people. I don't know. That almost sounds like a bloodbath in the auto industry, which is exactly what Donald Trump predicted, and the mainstream media and Democrat politicians spun to say that he wanted violence. You guys, the receipts and the evidence are right in front of you. According to the Wall Street Journal, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange may have a chance to gain freedom in America after 14 years of threats to his life. Back in 2006, Julian Assange began releasing highly classified material which exposed controversial actions of the federal government. In fear of legal retaliation, Julian Assange fled the United States. While he has been protected, he has spent most of his life hiding from the American government. The DOJ is reportedly considering a plea deal now with Julian Assange, which means he could face less strict charges. I really hope this guy gets a fair deal. I think the only reason the US government is considering a plea deal with Julian Assange is too many of us are awake to the fact that he's an innocent man who told the damning truth about the United States government. He exposed that America loves endless war because it makes so much money. So this is the sin of Julian Assange. He brought the receipts and proved that all the wars were not about spreading democracy or keeping the United States safe. It was about the military-industrial complex profiting off of going to war with other nations. It's just disgusting, but he has proven that that is the absolute truth. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan has confirmed that Biden may stop selling weapons to Israel if they don't comply with America's demands. In regards to the demands, Israel must submit a report detailing how the use of their weapons complies with international law. Benny Avi from the New York Sun bashed Joe Biden for considering such an action, stating, "In reality, arms are sold to foes and allies alike in 5 continents, with little notice of rights violations." Mr. Biden urged Congress last month to approve the sale of F-16 fighter jets to Turkey, even as Turkey massacres Kurds in Iraq and in Syria. Now, Israel is right on point here. America is addicted to war. It's our number one resource. And the military industrial complex is a $1 trillion industry that won't go away without a major fight. In fact, it probably will never go away unless the US military can be beat on our own native soil. All right, over in Russia, President Vladimir Putin may have just spoiled how he wishes the war with Ukraine to end. According to state media, Vladimir Putin claimed that Russia may seek to create a cordon sanitaire, which is a fancy way of saying a geographical boundary or corridor. Putin stated it would be quite difficult for Ukraine to overcome such a zone, even with foreign funds. In simple terms, it seems like Vladimir Putin wants Ukraine to designate and build a buffer zone so that the border of Ukraine and Russia never again touch. This is the only way that he can be sure that NATO won't attack Russia in the future. Pretty crazy, everything we're going through. All right, now, before you guys go, I want to remind you that you are amazing. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please give this video a like and hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1.6 million amazing truth seekers. Plus, when you hit that button, it helps because YouTube then shares the truth with more and more people. So thank you guys so much for doing that. Hey, thank you so much. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your night, and I will see you on the next video.